What's up, everybody? Mike Paldino here at Evolution Grappling Academy, and we're going to be going over the Slarce Choke today, okay? So the Slarce Choke is in the Darce family, but it's with my sleeve, very similar to an Ezekiel choke, hence sleeve, Darce, Slarce, all right? Typically, I like to set up this technique from side control and allow my opponent or partner to start to work their way towards turtle to an underhook. So first, let's go over this position. So Gabby here is framing up on me. I'm in side control. As soon as she starts to frame up on me, what I want to do is I'd like to do like a little club of her arm, and I like to do what I call a wrist drag into a motorcycle move. So I'm going to pull her wrist across, and as I get it out here, I'm going to rev it like it's a motorcycle, okay? So I get here, side control, wrist drag, motorcycle move, right to my meat hook, hooking her head nice and tight. A key detail with the Darce choke that a lot of people lose is Gabby's arm in comparison to her cheekbone, okay? If Gabby's arm is up here and I'm trying to finish a Darce, a lot of times she's able to kind of do the 80s hair metal move like this and clear the Darce choke, okay? So I wanna make sure that as I get my wrist drag to the meat hook, I stuff her arm and I block it with my chest here, okay? Now, if I get this deep, I typically don't go for a Slarce from side control because my arms are so deep, I can adjust and I can go all the way to my tricep for the Darce. I can go to my forearm for the short arm Darce. Or in the gi, what I like to do is I like to just grab whatever slack of the gi, come right here and finish my Darce like so, okay? But what happens is in live resistance, as I'm here and she gets to this position, if I go for the wrist drag, oftentimes she's working her way to recover guard exactly. Before she even gets up, I get to my toes and I'm putting heavy chest pressure to get her back down, and I'm shooting this arm through. As soon as I get this meat hook, people start to posture their head up, okay? Making it kind of difficult to grab my forearm or my bicep, right? Like it's kind of hard to grab my forearm or my bicep in this position, okay? Additionally, she's trying to recover guard, so I'm gonna circle out just slightly and I work my way 4 fingers or 3 fingers into my own sleeve here. 4 fingers into my own sleeve. If Gabby's neck is super high up and I can't quite get 4 fingers, I'll go 3 fingers in, okay? But ideally, I personally like to get 4 fingers in. Now, what I do is I sit towards my heels, allowing Gabby to get to turtle, okay? So she works her way up to her knees, no problem. I step up my left leg and I slide right through, okay? Ideally, what I want to do is I want to finish Gabby with her on her hip. Can I finish the technique here? I absolutely can. But best case scenario is going to be to get Gabby to her hip. And let me explain why, okay? If I keep Gabby here on her knees and she's somehow able to clear this left elbow across my body, she's out, okay? When I get Gabby to her hip, her left elbow that is trapped now is pinned on the mat, okay? It can't make its way across my waist. So the finish here, key details on the finish is 4 fingers in, and my left hand wants to go as far into her armpit, towards her armpit as possible, okay? Just like so. Now what you'll notice about my wrist is as my 4 fingers are here, my knuckles are kind of facing me. So I'm gonna be turning them away from me and curling my wrist. I'm gonna be turning my hand away from me. See how my knuckles are facing me? I'm gonna be turning them away from me and curling my wrist. So I'm here, just like so. I bring my elbow nice and tight, and now I'm gonna curl my wrist and I'll get my finish, okay? One more time. I'm inside controlling Gabby, staying nice and tight. I alleviate some pressure. Right away, I start to circle towards her head. She's gonna keep getting up to her knees, so I'm gonna have to start to shoot this hand through, okay? As soon as I can, I get this hand locked up. Her head's gonna be getting off the, exactly. See how Gabby is flexing her neck right here? She's gonna be doing this to defend against me grabbing my own gi. So I might only be able to get 3 fingers in, okay? That's no problem either. I'm gonna let her all the way up, and I'm gonna step this left leg out, and I'm gonna sit right underneath Gabby here. Okay? If she stays on her knees, I just do a little bit of a hip bump here to get her to her hip. Now what's key? Left elbow. My left hand can't be here. It can't be here. It's got to be wrenched all the way up like I'm grabbing my own shoulder like on a rear naked choke here. My elbow goes tight. I walk in and I turn my wrist. An additional key detail with the Darce in general is my chest to the back of the head. I've got to make sure that I keep my chest behind her head, and I flex my chest into the technique as well, and that's gonna get my finish, and that's your Slarce choke.